when it's live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. On behalf of Porsche Cars North America and Porsche Club of America, I'd like to welcome you to the 2021 LA Auto Show, and specifically the Porsche booth. Welcome, everyone. It's great to see you here. You're the lucky 200 or so that get to see the booth today before it opens to the public. So again, thank you to Porsche. Some special thanks. I want to thank Mark Harson, who can't be here with us today, but he helped coordinate everything. The team from Porsche Cars North America that took care of the booth and the breakfast. Hopefully you guys all enjoyed that. I also want to say thank you to Todd Benz from the PCA Executive Council for being here. Without their support, none of this would happen. But we have about 45 minutes to go through a few world premieres. We're broadcasting live on TechTax Live, so those of you, I'm going to walk up here, that are watching online with us this morning, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. We got to do that, that's important. So we're just going to jump right into it. I have Haley Nunnally. She's going to talk about the latest world premiere to the right.
Awesome. Good morning, everyone. My name is Haley Nunnally. I have the privilege of working in the product planning department at Porsche Cars North America, and I have the distinct privilege to give you a quick tour of the Taycan GTS this morning. This is probably, in my opinion, the best looking Taycan. This is the Sport Turismo version of the Taycan. It is the only Sport Turismo in the model lineup for the Taycan. Everything else that's more wagon shaped is known as a Cross Turismo. With the GTS, it's once again the Sport Turismo. As you can see, it comes in the very classic very classic GTS color of carmine red. This particular model also has the GTS interior package with the deviated stitching also in carmine red. This Taycan gives you a really nice balance of both power and sporty options as well. This Taycan has 590 horsepower, but still maintains a really high torque level. There are 626 pound-feet of torque in this car. The reason being is because this Taycan has the front electric motor of the 4S, but still maintains the rear electric motor of the turbo. So the torque is still the same, a little less horsepower, but a lot of torque. I was speaking with one of our colleagues in PR, and he was telling me that this actually gives this car the best driving dynamics because it's able to manage its thermal capacity really nicely with that little bit less horsepower, but still that same. These wheels are also have been introduced with this Taycan GTS. This is the Taycan's take on the classic RS Spider wheel on this car. These are optional. The standard is the Turbo Aero wheel, but still painted in the GTS satin black. Any questions for me?
Well, I have to say this is a truly handsome vehicle. When the Cross Turismo came out, in my mind, I actually thought this was going to come out. So to see this today, it's quite exciting because this is what is more roadworthy to me as opposed to more of an adventure crossover type.
Exactly. This car will not have the gravel mode that you see in the Cross Turismo. Once again, it is a Sport Turismo for a reason, so no off-roading capability necessarily in this car. The coolest thing I think on this vehicle that came out, the option, is for the sunroof or the panoramic roof. It has the ability to fade in and out. Using electrochromatic, I believe is the technical term.
I heard there's like 9 layers of crystals that you activate it with energy and it changes the shape of the glass.
Exactly. Unfortunately, this car in front of me does not have that option on it, but it is available now for model year 23 across all Taycans, but was introduced with this car. I highly suggest you look at a video of it in action because it is really cool and probably one of the coolest options I think we've introduced in years. So
if you've seen some of our videos before, we are really smitten with the GTS trim. It's always been the sportiest, whatever car, or if it's the Cayman GTS, tons of race tech interior trim, the sporty design up front.
With the GTS package, you do get the seat inserts in race text, and as well as this headliner. I think the headliner is really nice touch. Just gives it a luxurious yet sporty feel.
So how about the suspension tuning for this versus a standard Taycan?
So suspension, the air suspension is specifically tuned to be more sporty for this car. So you may feel an initial stiffer setup, but once again, that only improves the driving dynamics and what's in the GTS now.
Exactly. So for those that you might have range anxiety, are there published numbers for this car?
I do not know them off the top of my head. I don't believe the EPA number is out quite yet. However, if anyone asks me about range on Taycan, I always say it depends on the weight of your right foot.
Right.
So, if you drive normally, you'll tend to get a bit of a higher range than even the EPA quotes. If you drive it like you stole it away from every stoplight, as you should, your range is going to go down. And if
all of these people understand that one.
And if you put it in range mode, which all Taycans do come with range mode, you are driving the first and only front-wheel drive Porsche. So, if you want to change up your driving dynamics and see what a front-wheel Porsche is like, that's the way to do it.
Can we open the back? Is it operating?
Absolutely.
I don't think of all the pre-press stuff, I haven't seen the back.
So the back is very much standard across the Sport Turismo, Cross Turismo. One of the seats is lying flat right now, so you can see it's actually got quite a bit of room. This is also covered in that race text, formerly known as Alpinrod, and it is removable. So if you do need an extra space to fit things in the back, it is possible.
And what color combinations can the GTS be purchased in?
Right now, it can be purchased with the carmine red deviated stitching and the chalk deviated stitching.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now let's go to the front, because I think it's got a very unique front compared to the other Taycans. Like other GTSs, this car is just more aggressive all the way around.
Absolutely.
And they call it the Porsche Sport Design bumper?
Correct. So it just has a more aggressive front fascia. I don't want to block the camera, but as you can see, the black trim pieces more angled, also a little bit here on the side as well. And it really just gives it, once again, that overall sporty look that we're used to seeing from the GTS model, and I think it's a great way to differentiate it as well. I'm also huge on the side skirts with the GTS embedded into the side skirt. I think that's a really nice touch. Once again, with that sport design side skirt, a little more aggressive feel as well, but I think for the overall lines of the car, it does really, really nicely.
Yeah, it definitely accents it.
Yeah.
So what about the brakes for this car? I see it has standard brakes.
Yep.
I've seen other cars with the Porsche surface coated brakes, which are the white calipers.
Exactly.
And then you have ceramics. Is that still the same options?
Yes. So this, as you can tell by the red caliper, is the standard sport brake. It is steel, but it's a great brake. I haven't heard any issues with it. And in the Taycan, it's even less of an issue because you do most of your braking actually by regen in the electric motor. So you're not doing as much brake wear as on a normal internal combustion engine car.
So less brake dust, less pad wear, rotors are going to last longer.
Exactly. But if you like the look of the surface coated brake, that is...
I absolutely do, because it's like a mirror finish, almost zero brake dust.
Exactly. It's coated in tungsten carbide, so a really hard, strong material that gives a super cool finish, in my opinion. And any brake caliper that we have, if you're not big on the red, the white, or the yellow, can be painted in black. So sometimes it's a little confusing because people are very used to that progression in brakes, but
so if you wanted to tone it down, you could.
Exactly.
Why would you do that? I don't know.
Well, some people this red on this caliper is a little bit different than the Carmine red, for example. Some people
the
love
shade
it.
is a little different, yeah.
Exactly, some people love it, some people don't. So I've seen a lot of people go an all black wheel setup with the Carmine red.
Very interesting. Let's see, are there any questions from the crowd about this vehicle here? No questions, we've answered all of their questions.
My goodness.
So what we're going to attempt to do is to do a transition to the other side of the room. So those of you that are watching online, just bear with us here. Haley's going to switch over microphones. We're going to take a little walk. My buddy Michael Tam's going to join me, and we're going to go that way.
Thanks, Haley. That was a great presentation. Oh, boom. We're going to have to make it through this crowd here.
Coming through, coming through. Dude, can we stop by the Mission R first?
I was going to say, should we stop by there before we spend all our time on the GT4 RS?
We know, we're gonna, just like the milk at the back of the store, we're gonna talk to GT4 last.
Yeah.
Let's move by the Mission R real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So I had the opportunity to see the Mission R at PECLA at their
Well,
anniversary.
running?
Oh, I didn't see it, it was, what?
Maybe that's a secret.
What? It was running?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So,
All right, so folks, Manny, if you want to slide the table or whatever, if it helps, or Damon, maybe Damon has his, oh, you're live, okay, good. So I'll step over here, get out of the view of this beautiful, beautiful Mission R. Dude, tell me a little bit about it.
all electric racing is a possibility. This is what we're trying to show with this concept study. As you see with this Mission R, it's got a smaller form factor. This has a mid-battery mounted concept, and that's one of the bigger deals. Very similar to our, Boxster Caymans. Where an engine would go, there's actually a whole battery pack there. And that gives you, of course, different driving dynamics, right? Rather than a skateboard battery pack layout where you're sitting on it.
The proportions are gorgeous,
Right.
I mean, I've seen it in pictures, but when you see it in person, how it sits, and if this is the future of our cars, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, we don't ever put out a concept study without at least hinting at certain design features in the future. I won't say that this car is gonna come like verbatim like this,
Sure.
but there's gonna be a lot of cool design cues. Like you see the headlights and everything, cool
Yeah.
design cues that'll carry on to the future cars.
So we have to go over to the Swan Deck, because I think that's a part that not many people have talked about.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like an engineering marvel. Hopefully we can get, we've got some actuators here from my car stereo days. We've been making moving amp racks.
Yeah.
And now we're using it for a wing.
A little more advanced here, on this concept site, it's gonna be the DRS system, the drag reduction system, of course. So you hit a button and then adjust the angle and attack of your wing. Less than downforce, maybe you're going on that straight, you want the maximum amount of less drag and everything.
So ideally, would that be computer control based on GPS, like I'm going down the straight, lay flat or whatever, and then come into a corner, picks up?
It could also be driver controlled if you want to do it from the steering wheel, or, after a while, or do what it does on the track. Certainly do something like that. And another big highlight is that this has front and rear motors for over 1,000 horsepower in qualifying mode.
Wow.
It's absolutely insane. The target time for Nürburgring on this car is less than 6 minutes and 40 seconds.
Wow. And just to put in to relation, a GT3 is
659.
659.
And the GT4 RS over there is 709.
Wow.
So
That's blistering speed.
yeah.
So where, you said front motor, rear motor,
Yes.
they're the same type of motor, or?
Slightly different outputs on each
Okay.
motor, and both are a single speed, so no two-speed transmission or anything. We wanted to keep it lighter weight, and that's another key feature. You might think electric, it has to be heavy because of all the batteries.
Yeah.
No, that's something actually it's in the middle ground here. This is designed for sprint series like the Carrera Cup, so like a 30-minute race session.
Okay.
As such, we don't create completely packed full batteries. So yeah,
Just enough to finish a race.
it's enough to finish those
Right.
30-minute sprint races. So yeah.
So does this give us a little hint of, because it's more of to me, a mid-engine looking car, is this the future? I know Michael's like, dude, why do you ask me these questions?
I
You
can't-
know I can't answer them. But I'm thinking this is the future of our mid-engine cars.
I can't confirm or deny anything specifically, but we all
Just
know.
wink, just wink.
We all know.
We'll
Porsche-
look back at this video in about 2 years and look, yeah, Michael told me this is what the future is.
Give it a little more time. One last thing, less than 1,500 kilograms, less than 3,300 pounds.
3,300 pounds with batteries.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I definitely love the rear end treatment. I don't know if Damon has showed it, the light treatment and how the Porsche is integrated. And
You like the little vertical stripes and everything across?
Absolutely.
Yeah. New take on our kind of Porsche light bar in the back.
Yeah. Very cool. All right, so let's go to the back of the store because I know we're getting close on time here. Folks, we're going to look at the GT4 RS. Now, Michael, I have been knocking on your door for several years trying dealers and
Years and years in advance. I mean, I've only been in this role for about 3 years. I think I started beginning of 2019, and I've known about it since then, to be fair.
really?
And small
That's
details.
not fair.
Yeah, a lot of PowerPoint slides are involved, so there's a lot more stuff in between.
So this car here is very well optioned.
Yes.
This has the Vice-Op package. For those of you that don't know, it's if you're going to order this, you got to get that package because it comes with all the carbon, right?
It comes with all the visible carbon. That's the key feature. The bigger scoops on the side, the Porsche logo on the rear window. It just gives it that characteristic look, right?
And the non-Vice-Op package does not have a carbon hood.
Well, actually, all cars will have a carbon hood. It just won't be exposed. So it'll actually be painted exterior color. So Vice-Op package this time around is a little more aesthetic space. So like the wing again, it'll a little more fiber, will just exposed. The side air intake will be also carbon fiber, but it'll use the black finish. That being said, this scoop
more aggressive.
This scoop is more aggressive. This stuff added to it is exclusive to the Vice-Op package.
Again, if you're going to order one,
Yeah.
sell a kid or something, stretch.
Yeah, for sure.
And only PDK.
Only PDK, as is tradition with our recent RS generations that you saw in 991. It is PDK only for the whole sheer aspect. This is designed to be maximum performance, and you know PDK is maximum.
Yeah.
I mean, that being said, some nailed it every single stuff.
But this kind of car, if you're chasing down the best lap time, that's a transmission app.
Correct. And I will say the pairing between this PDK and this 4-liter from the GT3 is an absolute treat. These two come together so well. And this PDK has a shorter gear ratio than the GT3.
I was going to ask you about the shorter gear ratio.
Yeah, and those shorter gear ratios are just so snappy. And that and the 9,000 RPM red line, it all just goes together so.
So this motor compared to what is in a GT3, shorter or shorter exhaust, something like that.
It's got longer exhaust because, of course, being mid-engine, we kind of had to get.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
The engine's a little further from the back, right?
Yeah.
The intake we did have to kind of reverse because of the whole engine layout's just a little different. We reversed it, which allowed us to create these scoops up to the side windows. So you might be wondering, why are there still side air intakes on the side, on the bottom too?
Mm-hmm.
Those are now just for cooling.
Okay.
So all the combustion air are now in these side areas where the windows used to be, and all the cooling air is at the bottom.
I know I've online folks have asked us, so usually a car like this is fairly limited production. How many are you going to build?
As with any car that we don't put a limited number plaque on, we don't actually really announce the full production number. And also, truth be told, ask us when we're done. We are going to make as many as we can over the next coming years. So just be patient if you're, on the list for one.
So here at the LA Auto Show, if you walk around the floor, you see a lot of electric vehicle initiatives.
Yes.
Like, are we kind of on the very tip of the best internal combustion engine car, and will this be the last of the great ones?
I mean, speaking from a personal opinion, I love this motor, I love the mid-engine chassis. This will be the one I would put on a pedestal as the last great combustion engine.
You heard it here, Michael say, get this and put it on our pedestal.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason we put out Mission R concept, and I'll be honest, I daily drive a Taycan. It's absolutely amazing. But I also recognize this car has a place in the whole world.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the Swan Neck and how it ended up with this car.
Yeah, the Swan Neck. Obviously, you saw us debuted on the GT3 road car. The benefit, of course, is the fact that most of the downforce is being generated from the bottom side of the wing, right? And this being coupled with the the rear diffuser, it just creates a great downforce package. So by cleaning it up and mounting it from the top side, it just reduces that drag. It really helps out. And plus, of course, this has the adjustments. So you just unbolt the screw, you've got about 3 different levels of adjustment on the back. So you adjust the angle of attack. It comes standard in a delivery condition, and then you can do a track-only performance position.
Let's go to the front. Tell us a little bit about the front.
Sure. So on the front of the car, you might notice the front fascia is a little more aggressive than a normal GT4. So you notice the front lip is just protruding a tiny bit more than the normal GT4, again helping with that massive downforce. You've got these side air curtain kind of areas here, helping to duct out the air. You see, of course, the carbon fiber hood that we talked about earlier. This one bi-stock package, so the exposed carbon fiber. 2 NACA ducts, like you remember from the 3RS and 2RS,
yeah.
right? These 2 NACA ducts go straight down to the brakes to offer more cooling. Which, speaking of, as you see on the front here, the brake package is just a little bit bigger. This is actually the same package as the 992 GT3. So we've got 408 millimeters cast iron rotors in the front, 380 in the rear, and of course optional ceramics if you'd still like those.
And from a style, and I think an aero side, the fenders on this car is very unique.
Yeah, definitely can't forget about the fenders. First of all, this fender is entirely carbon fiber. It is painted exterior color, but this is entirely carbon fiber. And then you've got these air outlets to reduce that high pressure zone that you get built up in the wheel well. So along with the air curtains, along with this curving, as you see from the fender, you have these outlets to reduce that pressure, as you remember from like 3RS and 2RS as well.
So I saw that design there and that cut in,
Yeah.
also on the Mission R.
Like I said, we don't bring out concept touches, I'll bring those styling touches to a real car. And you can't forget, of course, exclusive design fuel cap is standard.
Of course, so pretty.
Nice.
It's like a jewel.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
So lap times on this car is
So like we spoke about, 709 on the Nürburgring,
Yeah.
On the longer circuit now, which compared to the 992 GT3, the 659. And this is 23 seconds faster than a normal GT4. Crazy. And that's not just due to the 493 horsepower, the aero package we talked about, that's due to the suspension improvement and everything. And I'm sure the stacks on the top of the dashboard had traction in that car.
absolutely good player.
Yeah, exactly, that glare.
Looking at the interior, if you didn't know better by seeing the shifter, you may have said, oh, this car comes in a manual. To someone that doesn't understand, right?
Correct.
So tell us about why they chose to do that.
We chose that shifter because we wanted to carry over for the 992 GT3. Again, another hint that this has the same transmission and engine combination as that car. We brought that over from the 992. So same exact shifter action there. You push the button down, and you can also still slap it to the left, do the manual shifting from there, as well as your paddles.
And someone online asked about they have a current 718 and they see some of the bits of this car that they would love to add to their own. I'm thinking that's not possible.
We don't officially condone it, obviously.
Someone will do it. Yeah. So if this car isn't wild enough for you, then we've got a car right behind you there that we want to talk about.
GT4 RS Clubsport, right?
We have a question. Yes.
So this is a slightly better performing PD. Comes again from the GT3. It's perceivably, you're not going to really perceive it that much, but it is kind of faster. Yeah.
What's the base price?
The base price is $141,700 MSRP. Oh yeah, I did want to mention that. This is the first Cayman with front axle lift. Specifically for this because we know that front protruding. So just like the other cars, you hit a button 1 inch up to about 37 miles an hour. Why is this bigger?
That has a gurney lip on it.
Yeah. I mean, you have to remember, this has a gurney flap. This has a slightly different aero package. Again, GT4 RS Clubsport, not street legal. This is kind of a different approach here. But that being said, same engine and transmission as you see here on the GT4 RS. Carried over. You'll see the same airbox. This one doesn't have bi-stock package, again, being a race car.
So that's the airbox that would come on that car if you didn't get the bi-stock.
Correct, correct. So that's the standard finish of the airbox, not carbon fiber. The weight of this car is 3,227 pounds. So 49 pounds lighter than a GT4 with BDK.
And then this car?
This car, I cannot recall off the top of my head, I'm sorry.
But it's definitely lighter because you guys use some sort of material that can actually see through the finish.
That is correct.
It's like an organic fender.
Yeah, we were trying to be a little more sustainable.
We're in California, we have an organic fender on this car.
It is made from natural fibers, not that I recommend you biting into it, but it is all natural.
All natural. I tell you, Porsche, so ahead of the game.
Yeah, and again, it's a hint towards the future. We're looking into different materials. Carbon fiber is expensive too.
Yes. And that's what, like hemp or something?
Actually, I think probably not much.
All right, let's go to the front here.
Yeah. So, again, in the front, you see it's a little more aggressive on the RS Clubsport here. You see the actual little diaphragm on the side. But otherwise, it's still very much a GT4 RS at its core. Obviously, the fuel had other than the adaptation, the racing series, still very much.
Right, so the fourth standard viewership.
Great. Yeah, they share a lot of fun. Yeah, the side area,
This is the side shape that you would have gotten if you didn't get by.
correct. You would get that extra scoop, so you get that kind of exposed area right there.
Now, is this car ordered through Motorsport or is this?
This car is sold through Porsche Motorsport North America, but I hear we may have already sold out.
Oh, really? Sold out already?
Yeah.
Why are we even showing this car? No, I'm just kidding. We need to know about it even though it's sold out.
Just like the showing the Mission R. Did you really buy one of those?
True, very true. But how many are they making?
I do not.
How do you say sold out, you don't know how many they're making, Michael?
We haven't actually made it.
And will these be made on the same production line, or will these be done at my time?
Just like all our race cars, all the body and lights are made in the same production line, but then some of the finishing touches are done up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the hood obviously is different with the fuel,
Yes.
but it's also, is that carbon or is that the special material?
I don't recall specific on this car. I will say I am an expert on the street cars.
On the street cars. Well, this is definitely an aggressive looking car.
Yeah.
All stripped out.
Yeah. Same PDK though.
This doesn't have the race tech dash.
Yes.
I mean,
This actually has the final.
this has the vinyl dash.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
What is the price of this car?
I don't remember the motorsport price. It starts with a 2 though.
It starts with a 2, and then there's probably like a spares package that goes with it.
Yeah, if you want some extras with that.
And then you have to hire the driver to drive because you probably don't drive that well. How many to drive with you? Is it correct? Oh, you have to have a pro driver drive with you.
Yes.
So-
And you get a taxi seat there, so.
Taxi.
Yeah.
How are we doing on time?
15 minutes.
We have another 15 minutes. Any questions from the crowd about either car? Preferably about the street car because Michael's more.
I just wanted to ask you, those are staggered, it looks like the front and rear are staggered as far as sizing, am I correct?
They are staggered in width. I don't believe the diameters are staggered. I think they're still 18. Yeah,
Yeah, 18s.
yeah, still 18. And again, also not staggered. Yes. Yeah.
So you can see the front, the track of the front of this car seems to be much wider than
Yes.
the street car.
Yeah, just like a GT3 pump track is also wider than
Okay.
03 in the track.
So I think it's also important to know that this car, the big innovation in the GT3 recently was the suspension. This actually retained the whole, I would say, not the newer suspension.
Yes, it retains the pierce the front and the rear. And that is still a key differentiator. That is why a GT3 still has its own suspension. It's got rear axle steering, it's got the double wishbone suspension. We do have differentiation between the 4S GT3. And of course, they drive entirely different.
So no rear axle steering.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I heard something about, was it the diff is different?
Yes, so this one has our non-electronic PTV, so this is just Porsche torque vectoring. That one has the GT3 has electronically controlled Porsche torque vectoring plus.
And this is all mechanical then?
This is all mechanical, yes.
Gotcha. Wow, the purists will love that.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Maybe not as advanced, but the purists will love the
Yeah,
mechanical.
it might set faster lap times than PTV plus.
Yeah.
Function of the notch on the front fender.
That again, as I was talking about, the front fender vents along with that notch on the fender, that helps relieve that high pressure area and reduce the amount of drag there. Yeah.
And what is the material of the roof on the street car?
This is the aluminum roof. This
It is aluminum.
Yeah. No carbon fiber roof offer.
Same, but the race car,
I believe that one has a different roof because we had to do the roof hatch.
yes,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Oh, so a couple small details. This is now it's kind of jumping around. Sirius XM for the United States, we're offering a Sirius XM delete option for anyone that doesn't want the warp.
So you don't have to have that little.
Correct.
Oh,
They'll be showing up
fantastic.
with the figure in just a few weeks. If you don't want the warp, you can delete that for no cost.
I gotta say that I mean, nothing against Sirius XM, but it does kind of annoy me that you have to have that little bump on the top of the
Yes, we
surface.
love Sirius XM as a partner, and again, that's part of us. We also need to engineer the antenna to be a little more hidden. And
Yeah.
we're definitely taking account to future generations. Yeah.
And what colors are the GT4 RSs coming in?
So our full meat sample program is already available. If you want those 115 colors, you can do that.
Yeah.
Here you see it in the beautiful Arctic gray color, same color as the Cayman Turbo GT, in fact. So that's definitely one of the colors you can get. And then you get the white, black cards, red, black, racing yellow, no cost. And then you've got 4 special colors you can do.
So you can't help but notice when this car came out, not only the Arctic, was it Arctic Gray?
Arctic gray, yes.
Arctic Gray, but the blue wheels. And these are very
Yes.
special wheels. These are very light wheels, very expensive wheels.
Yes, of course, these magnesium wheels, just like we did in 3RS, 2RS, they're a little extra cost. Here finished in a beautiful new indigo blue color.
Indigo blue.
Yes. It's actually nice because if you drive it hard enough with the titanium tips, you get a blue hue that matches very well with the wheels. So drive
A
your car.
fashionable wheel.
Very fashionable. And again, the magnesium wheels shapes 22 pounds all around the car. You're 10 kilograms, 22 pounds on this. So.
And I'm assuming ceramic brakes are available for this car?
Correct. The ceramic brake pack, the same one you're familiar from the GT3 and GT4, is available option on this car. Reduces unsprung mass. You get a little less brake wear too. It's actually pretty good.
Okay, so I do have the question because I said earlier that I love the Porsche surface coated brakes, which are the white calipers,
Correct.
shiny rotor, still not available in sports cars.
Correct. That is unfortunately exclusive to those 4-door models. We have not
So those
brought.
will all just be available for 4 doors. That technology, I guess.
We do not have any plans to bring the service code brakes to 2 doors at this moment.
That's very interesting, and I know you. I'm going to ask, and you're going to say you can't tell me, but why is that?
There are various complex logistical production and performance reasons for that. Not to say the brake, I've had those brakes, they're amazing brakes.
Yeah.
They have lovely, so much less brake dust. But at the end of the day, the ceramics are still the key performance.
Right.
And that's what fits to the sports car very well.
I just felt like the Porsche surface coated brakes is all like in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And so now you kind of, not that these are at the bottom,
Yeah.
but you have a choice of 2. More choices is always better. So
It is.
I've always asked.
We try to make as many choices available. At the end of the day, there is a limitation just how many we can offer. And that's one of them.
And so when will these people can go in and order or hopefully put their name down, get their name on the list, and when are these expected to be stateside?
So first U.S. state deliveries will be in about summer of 2022, about middle of the summer. You can technically place your order now. Dealer and internet car configurers are fully live. That being said, getting an allocation, you may or may not get one of the first ones. Just be patient. We'll get a few out. Model year 22 will be a little short. Model year 23 will shortly follow thereafter. No changes there, so again, don't worry. Just be patient. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. Thank you to Porsche Cars North America. Everyone, I hope you enjoyed your special advance walk through the booth. And those of you that are watching along, I hope you enjoyed it as well. Be sure to like, subscribe. We'll catch you next time. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.